Channel 7 Eyewitness News with Bill Beutel, Scott Clark with sports, Sam Champion with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast, and the Eyewitness News team. Now, Eyewitness News.
Good evening. Testimony continued today about New York City cops and corruption. About cops who stole from drug dealers and then sold what they stole for as much as $4,000 a day. And we have an exclusive interview tonight with a man who says he knew what the cops were doing illegally on the Lower East Side and in Greenwich Village. For his own safety, to hide his own identity, he went into the hearing wearing a mask and sunglasses. Sarah Wallace talked to him, and Sarah's live with her report in mid-Manhattan. Sarah?
Well, Bill, some devastating testimony today about the failure of the police internal affairs unit to police its own and a widening corruption scandal. The Mullen Commission here has been told about crooked cops operating in Brooklyn. But today, we heard exclusive details about more corruption in 2 Manhattan precincts. Eyewitness News was shown this Lower East Side location by the man calling himself Mr. X. It was a different business when he owned it, but Mr. X told the Mullen Commission today it was plenty popular, a place where cops from the nearby 9th Precinct used to hang out to do drugs and come after they'd ripped off dealers. He talked to us exclusively at the scene.
That's as they would come back to my place of business and divvy up that product. That I've seen. They would divvy up drugs? Yeah, I've seen drugs and I've seen money transact.
How many cops do you personally know were dirty in this precinct that you dealt with?
I would say about 12.
Mr. X says this grocery store was used by a former 9th Precinct cop, Alan Brown, to buy drugs that were shared by other cops. That cop also planned a barbecue where 9th Precinct officers and drug dealers were to come and bring their own drugs. A network of corrupt cops here never investigated. The party canceled because the cop who was going to give it got arrested before the investigation could go precinct-wide. All this allegedly to spare the department embarrassment. Mr. X says he first became familiar with IAD when he told them about a homicidal cop here in the 7th Precinct who boasted about murdering a drug dealer.
He caught the guy by the neck. He took him, threw him down. The guy was screaming like a woman. He shot him twice in the head, and the guy squirmed.
It happened, says Mr. X, in this building, a block away from the 7th Precinct. Did they ever do anything about it?
No, they didn't.
And tomorrow, we expect more shocking revelations about police corruption. It's expected there will be 2 former cops, one who will talk about police corruption in the 73rd Precinct in Brooklyn, another about the Bronx. Live from the Mullen Commission hearings, Sarah Wallace, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Sarah. And earlier in the day, the Mullen Commission heard from an insider, a member of the force, a member of the Internal Affairs Division, who tried to blow the whistle on Michael Dowd. Sergeant Joseph Trimboli told the commission that he learned of Dowd's crooked dealings back in 1986, but that his investigation stalled in spite of what he told his superiors about it.
Mr. Dowd and his partner were shaking down drug dealers, taking property off DOAs, and ripping off prisoners.
So Michael Dowd was a pretty notorious figure in the Brooklyn North FIAU by, let's say, 1987.
He was #1 on the hit parade.
Trimboli testified that he was a one-man unit using his own time and his own car to investigate Dowd's activities. The Saul Wachtler case shows again that people given the public trust can violate it and thereafter fall from grace. Wachtler is the former top judge of New York State, and today is his day of reckoning. This is exclusive videotape of Saul Wachtler calmly walking into a prison in North Carolina to begin serving a sentence of 15 months. Wachtler pleaded guilty in March to charges that he harassed his former lover, Joyce Silverman. Officials say the prison in North Carolina was chosen because it has an extensive mental health program. Back in New York City, the candidate for mayor, Rudolph Giuliani, is promising a big crackdown on crime in New York City if he's elected. And tonight he's getting the backing of another police union. The Port Authority Police Union has thrown its weight behind Giuliani this time. The Republican liberal candidate made that announcement today at a press conference at the Port Authority bus terminal in Manhattan. And as to the election today, the voters have not paid a lot of attention, but to Liz Holtzman and Alan Hevesy, today's election is very important. The runoff for the Democratic nomination for New York City Comptroller. Doug Johnson is live in New York with this report. Doug?
Bill, predictions had been that this runoff, this Democratic runoff for Comptroller, would not spark a large voter turnout. That still remains to be seen. But no matter what the outcome of this race tonight, it's going to be noteworthy one way or the other. Liz Holtzman gave a brave thumbs up as she went to vote this morning, a campaign where she started as a front runner, turned difficult in the past few weeks. A Department of Investigation's report put so much pressure on her that on primary night she felt fortunate to be in the runoff.
In this race, I'm the comeback kid.
The DOI report says Holtzman took a low-interest campaign loan from a bank seeking to do business with the city. For weeks she has been on the defensive, at one point breaking down during a TV program. Now, today, her career is on the line, but she expresses confidence.
We've been fighting and we will fight to the end. A lot of people in this city who believe in me, who care about me, who want to see me in office, and a lot of women and children and a lot of New Yorkers want to see me reelected. So we're going to keep fighting.
As bad as the DOI report was for Liz Holtzman, it was good for Alan Hevesy. A relative unknown, some now see him as the front runner, since he nosed out Herman Badillo to get in the runoff with Holtzman and has shown strength in the polls. Hevesy spent the day campaigning. As he voted this morning, he admitted the DOI report had changed everything.
I believe it would have been a close race without the DOI report because there was some substantial issues of management that we had discussed, auditing and labor law reform and implementation, that weren't as dramatic. But certainly the issue of the DOI report served at least one function, that was to put the spotlight on this race.
This is the second time this month that these candidates have been forced to campaign. And whoever wins tonight, of course, will face Herman Badillo in the fall, which will be the really big one, as they say. But this is a big one, too. Whoever wins tonight, it's going to be very meaningful. For the newcomer, Alan Hevesy, it would mean that he has come up against a tough opponent in Liz Holtzman and won. For Liz Holtzman, it would mean after 20 years as a public servant that she had lost a race that was crucial to her. Here on Channel 7, we will bring you results throughout this evening, and of course we'll give you the final result of this Democratic runoff this evening. We're live on the West Side. Doug Johnson, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Okay, Doug, thank you very much. So far as anyone can tell, there is no winner yet in the strike that has stopped the presses at the New York Post, but there is a late development this evening. Just a few minutes ago, unions that refused to cross picket lines of the striking newspaper guild today told their members to cross the lines, go back to work. But Rupert Murdoch has already taken steps to legally pull himself out of the deal to save the Post. Earlier today, Murdoch's representatives headed to bankruptcy court to end their agreement with the paper.
The Post has come back from the dead more than Frankenstein. We're going to be around. If Mr. Murdoch doesn't want to buy us, somebody else will.
Well, the agreement with the Post, that is Rupert Murdoch's agreement with the Post to buy it, officially ends Thursday midnight. One of the nasty problems of modern life is what to do with our waste, the sludge that results when sewage is treated. It's become a political issue in Westchester County between County Executive Andrew O'Rourke, who's running for re-election, and Richard Brodsky, who wants his job. And Jay DeDapper has the story tonight.
Everybody helps to make it, but nobody wants to take it. Sewage sludge, the byproduct of modern wastewater treatment, has been a problem ever since the courts blocked ocean dumping in 1989. Westchester County thought a sludge plant in Putnam County would solve their problems, but now that plant apparently won't be built. And some fear that means the county will build its own facility in Yonkers, right next door to the existing treatment plant.
What's right is not to continue to dump facilities like this in communities that have large concentrations of people of color.
Richard Brodsky says his opponent has mismanaged the situation and backed the county into a corner.
But it's been mismanaged, and the alternatives that mismanagement has left us is to dump on a city, Yonkers or Peekskill, or to find some other process that works well. Now, Nassau County is doing it. It hasn't created a huge controversy there, and I think it's a good model for us.
Nassau ships its sludge to West Virginia, which has been a cheaper solution than building a plant of its own. Today, Andrew O'Rourke said that's what he intends to do.
We have to find another site, and we're going to do it on what's most economical for the people of Westchester County and what's best environmentally. And if you ask me my opinion, it's going to be someplace out of state.
Despite the political machinations involved here today, this issue is very real and very problematic. Sending sludge out of state is fine until other states stop accepting it. Andy O'Rourke's solution would then be to use the sludge as fertilizer in county parks. But there are open questions about the safety of spreading human sewage around, which means for whoever wins in November, the current crop of answers may not be enough. In White Plains, J.D. Dapper, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
And County Executive O'Rourke says that he will reopen the process of getting rid of Westchester County's waste to competitive bidding, and he says that under no circumstances will the sludge plant, when it is built, be located in Yonkers. When we come back in a moment, we'll tell you about a tragic accident in New Jersey. Scaffolding collapses and 5 construction workers fall 8 stories. Chaos, confusion, death. We'll have that story. And getting bugged at Rutgers University. Unwelcome guests have infested one of the dorms. We have details when we come back.
Now appearing, a well-equipped Dodge Shadow for around $9,500. Go on at your Tri-State Mitsubishi Motors dealer today.
In New Jersey, a construction worker is dead tonight after plunging 8 stories at a construction site. It happened when the scaffolding at a Bridgewater Township construction project suddenly collapsed today. 4 other workers were hurt. Police say the men were hauling bricks into the site when the scaffolding they were walking on gave way. And another very bad accident, this one on the Long Island Expressway, killed 2 people in a fiery crash this afternoon. Traffic is still a mess in the eastbound lanes of the LIE near exit 55 in Brentwood. Police say a tractor-trailer smashed into 1 car, setting off a chain reaction, a 4-car accident. The eastbound lanes of the LIE in that area, we are told, ought to reopen pretty shortly. Well, they have roaches at Rutgers, cockroaches at Rutgers College in New Jersey. Rutgers University is fighting back with aerosol bombs, but the roaches are a clever lot as always, and it looks as if they're just retreating to safer ground. The students are bummed out and bugged out, and David Navarro has the story.
Dawn Mandavino and Amy Francis have a story to tell that you may not want to hear about, especially if you're eating right now. It's the kind of thing that makes even their skin crawl. But when these 2 students of Rutgers College in New Brunswick moved into their dorm, they never imagined it was also wall-to-wall with roaches.
I was taking a shower the other day, and I saw one crawling on the wall in the shower. I was just so grossed out. I mean, we are not relaxed here at all. We sleep with the lights on.
Now, the roach problem at Stonier Hall and other university dormitories is nothing new. But it's gotten so bad here, the roach has become their unofficial mascot.
She got every clothes, our toothbrush, we're because we see them in the bathroom a lot, crawling on the walls and stuff. Our toothbrush are just hanging there. So, we have to wash our toothbrush.
Since August, the building managers have been waging an all-out war against the pesky critters, targeting the underground tunnels and the cafeterias. It's an offensive that may have caused the roaches to look for a new place to live, like the dorms.
This is a surprise to us in this building, though, because we didn't, when we cleaned it in the summertime, we didn't see them.
While students are living in the dorms, the building managers can only go so far to eliminate the problem. A spray here, a trap there. But come Thanksgiving, when most students go home for the holidays, the exterminators will throw everything they got at them. Then maybe Mandavino and Francis can finally get some sleep. Reporting from New Brunswick, David Navarro, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
The problems with that dormitory, of course, paint a rather bad picture of Rutgers University, but Money Magazine is still sold on Rutgers, ranking it the 3rd best college value in the entire country. Still to come, brotherly love reaches around the globe tonight. Kids headed for trouble find the guidance they need, and they head for New York instead. A heartwarming story. Steve Hartman tells it in Life Around Here tonight. And in sports, celebration time for the Blue Jays. Pennant races are taking shape, and Scott Clark has details next on Eyewitness News as we continue.
Coming up on World News tonight, a ride on the information superhighway. On the American agenda this week, we'll look at the technical revolution changing the way we communicate. We call it Tune In Tomorrow, and it begins tonight.
Hevesy or Holtzman, who will win this battle? Can Liz Holtzman put a controversial campaign scandal behind her and keep her controller's job, or will Alan Hevesy unseat her? Watch complete live coverage of the race for controller tonight on Eyewitness News at 11.
Do the one. A&S one-day sale. Wednesday. Store-wide. 25 to 50% off. Wednesday only. A&S one-day sale. Terrific.
Just this once, just tomorrow, just for 12 hours, just this Wednesday, Siemens is going wild. Wild Wednesday is coming, and we're slashing prices on everything 10 to 30%. Just look for the money-saving dots. 10% off green dots, 20% off yellow dots, and 30% off red dots. Wildest savings on Siemens' entire inventory. And it's all absolutely interest-free for 12 months. 12 hours of wild savings, 12 months of free interest. Take up to 30% off everything. Wild Wednesday at Siemens. Just tomorrow, just 12 to 12, just at Siemens.
Hi, I'm Les Brown. Your wedding day is stressful enough without your divorced parents making a scene.
I was thinking about if there was a fight going on behind me.
For some brides, it's a long walk down the aisle.
I had to not have my father there at the wedding.
What should the rules be for parents?
The prime rule, you have to remember it's their day.
On the next Les Brown Show, see how to keep your parents' divorce out of your wedding. Watch the Les Brown Show tomorrow at 10 right here on Channel 7.
When a kid is in trouble and his family can't or won't help, where does he or she go? The lucky child falls under the wings of big brothers or big sisters, not only here, but in Moscow too. And big brothers, big sisters have given some of those young troubled Muscovites help and a new lease on their young lives here in New York City. Steve Hartman now, Life Around Here.
Big city, nice city, very interesting. That's all I could pull out of the very shy Russian kid with his hands in his pockets. Vadim Chuev is in New York this week as part of a Big Brothers Big Sisters exchange program. It's a very unusual thing.
Think about it. Most exchange programs are either for kids who do really well in school or for kids who have a lot of money. This thing's just the opposite. And it's happening to show people that single-parent problems aren't just an American phenomenon. And it's also happening, I suppose in a little way, to help a 13-year-old get out of his shell.
They're not sure whether it's okay to kind of just cut loose.
Janet started the Russian Big Brothers Big Sisters program last year. They needed it. 70% of all street crime there is committed by kids. They're now up to 3 million single-parent families. Enter an American ideal.
Volunteering is kind of an unusual idea there, and we had real concerns about whether it was something that people would buy into.
But they did, and now some of the bigs and littles are here at PS 56 to learn from kids in the New York program. Do people smile in Russia? Do Americans like Clinton? You guys got a Pizza Hut? When a chaperone asked Vadim if he had any questions, he just said, no questions, no problems. You don't need an interpreter to understand body language. He's a little overwhelmed.
And I decided to be Big Brother, Big Sister because now it's a very difficult time in our country and very difficult to be lonely.
Big Brother Sasha says he doesn't like to see people lonely. Many other adults in Russia are expected to join in and give a new meaning to an old phrase. Big Brother is watching. Steve Hartman, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Friendly Big Brother in this case. Hands of help across the sea. Let's talk about pennants. Scott Clark.
Thank you, Bill. Cinched to clinch last night. That's what it was for both the Blue Jays and the White Sox. And Yankee fans, take note. Although our home team did some faltering down the stretch, they would have had to have been nearly perfect to match the red-hot Blue Jays. Toronto earned its third straight title last night, and they did it in Milwaukee. That's where Paul Molitor played most of his career as a Brewer, but as a Blue Jay, he helped seal the crown with this home run blast in the second inning. Toronto built up a 2-0 lead and set up for the celebration in the bottom of the ninth. Reliever Dwayne Ward ends it by getting a double play ball, and with that, the defending world champions were on their way to the playoffs again.
To go on the stretch and win 13 out of 15 ball games and in the clutch, in the crunch time, I mean, that shows the character of this ball club. And this ball club knows what the job is, and now we've got 8 more victories we're concerned about.
And we get a chance to go to Chicago, and hopefully we can go in a split or win a couple.
Quote him on that. Woo. White Sox got to wrap their title up at home turf, and what a story Bo Jackson is. A man whose career was in most dire straits following his replacement surgery, his hip replacement. Last night, a towering 3-run home run shot in the 6th inning capped a remarkable personal comeback. Home runs and Boa blazing and electrified Comiskey Park.
I haven't had this much fun in all my professional career. This is like starting all over again.
And here's how it ended with the final out. Here's Ken Hawk Harrelson with the call.
That's in the right center field. And it's
Yeah, White Sox wrap up their first divisional title in 10 years.
We've had a lot of doubters, a lot of critics saying, hey, we cannot win. We showed everyone we could win this year, and we knew we could do it.
The big hurt. So now it's the White Sox versus the Blue Jays, the American League Championship on the line. The 7-game series begins next Tuesday night in Chicago. As for the Yankees, taking on the Orioles in Baltimore tonight, and so far, they're winning that battle for second place. Last night, Danny Tartabull tied Jesse Barfield's club record for strikeouts in the season with 150, but not here. The Bull also embarked on RBIs number 97 and 98. Gave the Yankees an early 2-0 lead, and by 2.5 games for that runner-up spot in the East. Now tonight the Phillies can clinch the National League East with a win over Pittsburgh, or if Florida beats Montreal, Phils are in as well. The only race still running out west, National League. The Giants keep hanging around the Braves and now just one game back of Atlanta. After beating the Padres last night at Candlestick Park, the Giants have now won 6 straight ball games, 10 of their last 11. Fans just head over heels again over this squad. Matt Williams, he broke out of a 2-for-25 slump by slamming this, his 38th homer of the season. Giants win 8-4. They host Colorado tonight. The Braves will host the Astros. Football, the Atlanta Falcons management gave head coach Jerry Glanville a vote of confidence last week, but oh, so many times that vote turns out to be a kiss of death. Glanville's still around for the moment at least, but last night his team dropped to 0-4, and when it comes to Cowher and crew, capitalized on 6 Falcon turnovers, including that fumble by Bobby Hebert. It became a dream come true for Kenny Davidson. How many times does a lineman get to do that? 45-17 in a rout. And finally, some hoop news. The NBA's Phoenix Suns, they have signed former Lakers forward AC Green to a 5-year deal worth a cool $15 million. Remember when it was a cool million? Now it's a cool $15 million. I'm Scott Clark. That's it for sports, Bill.
Sounds like pretty hot money to me. Thank you very much, Scott. Time for comforters and closed windows because it's going to be a chilly one tonight. Sam Champion has details next in his exclusive AccuWeather forecast. Stay with us.
American's Caribbean. There are hundreds of ways to enjoy our easy islands. We can take you to more of the Caribbean than anyone. Right now, we have flyaway vacation packages from $324 to $1,114. So when can we expect you? In American's Caribbean.
Something special in the air.
If you want to be in a position of power, then get behind the wheel of a 1994 Jeep Grand Cherokee V8 with a powerful 220 horsepower engine, 6,500-pound towing capacity.
WABC spectacular one-day sale Wednesday with special hours 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. All Mrs. and Junior outerwear 30% off. Foundations, buy one bra, get a second for $9.99. All Hanes hosiery 25% off. Tools of the trade cookware, your choice, $14.99. Magnavox 25-inch TV, just $299. Plus 3 hours of extra early morning specials 8 to 11. Macy's one-day sale Wednesday.
The phones haven't stopped ringing. People are calling in to try Total Raisin Bran.
We have this great toll-free number.
It's 1-800-OFFER-93. The offer is a free sample of Total Raisin Bran.
So people can see the difference.
And taste it. With 100% of all these vitamins and minerals, it's pretty impressive.
Kellogg's doesn't have 100% of any.
No 100s. That's the total difference.
Call 1-800-OFFER-93 for your free sample of Total Raisin Bran.
Can't beat that.
It's here, it's fabulous, and it's free. You just got to try it.
Chilly times coming, Sam.
Yeah, for the next couple of nights, Bill, and we're talking about the possibility of some frost upstate New York for tomorrow night. Wednesday night does appear to be the coldest night that we've had since late spring, but let's talk about the pattern of air that's settling in right now. 63 degrees outside, relative humidity at 48%, and the barometer steady right now. Winds have been cool and gusty all day long today. Now they're a little calmer and west at 7 miles per hour. 88 degrees would have been a record, and about 72 degrees is normal for us. We had a problem climbing out of the mid-60s for a good part of the day today, and likely that for the next couple of days will be cool as well. We'll show you the satellite picture, which is offering some clouds offshore right now, also wrapped around the Great Lakes, and just about everywhere else the nation is clear. But those clouds around the Great Lakes have got their eye into northern New England, and we'll clip just edges of them. There are several waves of cooler air along some very weak weather disturbances that are scheduled just to kind of slide into northern New England, and with each one we catch the trailing edge of them. That means that we will put a few clouds in the sky at some points, but there'll be plenty of sunshine as well over the next couple of days in between those clouds. As far as moisture falling, we don't see a whole lot, although tonight, as one weak disturbance moves over, there will be some moisture moving upstate. Adirondacks and the peaks of the Adirondacks will be getting about 4 inches of snow from that moisture, but it's so far to the north that just the extreme northern suburbs, and as far as you go inland, as you keep moving inland, that's your greater chance of catching some showers. Most of us along the coastline, in the city, out toward the island, will see nothing from this but some scattered clouds out there. It remains fairly windy around these systems, though, so we know the wind stays intact tonight, and it'll be fairly breezy again tomorrow. And it's cooler temperatures that keep filtering in with these cold fronts as well. You can see that snow line. It's still back in Canada right now, and it's not anything that's going to stick and be around. The ground's just too warm, but it will drop down to the ground, and again, the higher peaks picking up about 4 inches of snow in upstate New York, getting a light dusting and some light flurries up there. That'll all be gone as soon as the daylight hits it, but still, it's snow, and it's that time of year, and it lets you know that the cooler air is trying to sink down in here. It's still nice and warm all the way down to the south, and there are no problems with the cooler air making it that far, but for us, again, we're right on the edge of these systems, so each time we will step down a degree or two. Remember, 72 degrees would be normal for us for a high temperature. 56 degrees would be a normal low temperature for us. We'll be well below both of those for several days running now. 64 degrees is as warm as we can get tomorrow. It's a cool breeze out there, and there's sunshine mixed with some clouds. Again, I don't think we've got a big moisture problem coming until Thursday when this final wave of a weak weather disturbance kind of steps on through the area. This one will be moving a little farther to the south and could clip us with 1 or 2 weak scattered showers on Thursday. Again, not a big problem. For tonight's temperatures, not down so low yet, 52 degrees, and as far as frost goes for us, we haven't really seen much, just some scattered light frost in northwestern corners of New Jersey where it'll be 44 degrees tonight. We do think that by Wednesday night, though, there could be some pockets of scattered frost even close to the city Wednesday night, Thursday morning. 52 degrees, mostly clear, it's brisk and it's cool out there. 64 degrees tomorrow, mostly sunny, breezy, and it stays cool. AccuWeather 5-day plan shows you no break in this for a while. 58 degrees, the high number on Thursday. Friday, 66 degrees. All these numbers well below normal, well into the weekend, Bill.
Okay, Sam, thank you very much. And tonight on Eyewitness News at 11, who's going to win New York's runoff election for controller? Can Liz Holtzman keep her job, or will Alan Hevesy move on to the election in November? We'll have complete runoff results. And the murder of a Russian immigrant sent shockwaves through Brighton Beach last year. Tonight, his 14-year-old killer will be sentenced. Will the victim's 12-year-old son ask for mercy or revenge? Those stories and breaking developments outside Russia's Parliament building tonight. Troops loyal to Boris Yeltsin are surrounding the complex. We'll have details tonight at 11 o'clock. Finally, President Clinton said yesterday that the United States is going to be more reluctant than it has been when asked to help the UN keep the peace, as in Somalia or Bosnia. Well, it was 927 years ago today, September 28, 1066, that Duke William of Normandy invaded England and began the Norman conquest. He became King William I, and history calls him William the Conqueror, the war maker, peacekeeper of his day. Through 2 world wars, Vietnam, even the war in the Gulf, we have been the peacemakers and peacekeepers of our time. But keeping the peace today so easily leads to war, and William Jefferson Clinton has noted.
To L.A.